3,126 hours is how long it takes to beat Melvin Idle, an idle incremental game inspired by RuneScape, which is the longest recorded playtime for a video game. I mean, we all have had our share of long video games we played and deeply loved, getting immersed in the game for months at a time and loving every second of it. Or getting haunted by a really long game you haven't finished. Some games have endearing gameplay that can be done over and over to get to a certain goal. Others tell a heartfelt tale about a protagonist and their friends. And others, you can fuck a baron. The feeling you get after completing such a game will have you mesmerized.
I want to kill myself.
I mean, who could blame a guy? Video games weren't always as long to complete. I mean, back in the 80s, you would play a game for a few hours, beat it if your brain was developed over 8 years old, and the value in playtime you got was usually from replaying it and the challenges. That was until we evolved. With higher storage for video game cartridges and disc, we could have better graphics, more ability to play these games, and long games to be played. And thus became the Persona 5 is too damn long and I hate it. Look, it's been a really good 60 hours with you, but I just can't envision us together in the future. It's not you, it's me. Look, what I'm saying is, I don't think this is working out. Don't act like that. Come on. Persona 5 to me is like an ex you know isn't good for you, but you somehow keep going back together. Okay, let me digress. Persona was there when I entered middle school, high school, my first homecoming, probably my first date, most likely my graduation, and by the time I have kids, I'm 95% sure I still will not have beaten this game. But let's rewind the clock. I got Persona 5 in 2020 and loved every second of it. This entire video contains no spoilers, by the way. This game is about a group of rebellious teenagers who live in a corrupt society where adults in charge abuse their power and profit on the misfortunes of others. Wow, reminds me of the real world. These teenagers call themselves the Phantom Thieves and go around stealing the hearts of these corrupted adults and making them change their ways. Now, how do they do this? By tapping into the metaverse, and not the one by Mark Zuckerberg. The metaverse is a different realm where they have these special abilities and shadows exist, as well as adults discussing personifications of themselves. Alright, if that didn't make much sense, the metaverse is basically just the RPG segment of the game, where shadows are just Pokemon you collect, and you travel around all these evil adult palaces and slowly get to the person in charge. You battle them, defeat them, and then steal their treasure, causing them to have a psychotic breakdown which then makes them want to be a better person. Outside of causing mental breakdown to your peers and adults, you and your friends just experience life, studying for tests, balancing your social life, hanging out with family members and friends, being a normal teenager, and doing all this while beneath the surface, you literally fight for your life after school. Wow, that was a lot of explaining. Almost as long as the game itself, am I right? The characters in this game are also rich and full of life and beauty. The social life aspect of the game is really fun, and getting to know the characters and more is amazing. The dungeon crawling part is, it's okay. And the music, oh my god, the music, I listened to this. So much about this game is great, and I've had this game for 4 years and still haven't beaten it. Will I ever beat it? 101 hours is how long it takes, and I love this game. I just suppose I can never fully keep going, and I take breaks, or I play another game that comes out, and I just leave it rotting in my backlog. I guess this is something I would consider a oh, but KB, this game can't count since it's based on your own personal experiences. Get out! Animal Crossing at New Horizons is a social simulation game. You and your old pal Tom Nook move to a remote island, and the two of you make a happy home for all the villagers and slowly add more and complete the island. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I think I made a mistake in the script. No. Tom Nook, also living here, does not help you. You actually go around doing all the chores around the island, doing all these quests, building houses, and catching fish. You know, this is probably why I have so many hours. Slowly throughout the game, you turn into this ugly, grotesque, abandoned shell of an island and turn it into a home, a prosperous, beautiful home, all by yourself without Tom Nook's fucking help. While doing this, you make new friends and new villages on your island. These villages come in all different shapes and sizes. And you don't like the villages you got? Well, there is a whole underground villager slave trade on the World Wide Web. So, yeah. The reason this game is up here is because doing all these side quests, bettering up your island, and etc. takes a really long ass time. Technically speaking, you can play this game forever, but you do roll credits at the end of your island to 3 stars, which I have to say is the most annoying thing I've done. Look, here I am busting my ass off, hustling for days, with my blood, sweat, and tears working for this island, and I go up to Isabel, and she's like, oh, well, you only have 2 stars, and gives no advice on how to help me. So, I go back, even look up some advice on YouTube, because apparently flowers can help you, and I do all that, and I still have a 2-star ranking, and it fucking pisses me off. So, this game does take a while, and if you do anything but the bare minimum, you can have hundreds of hours in this game. However, this is different than Persona, because most of this is personal choice. I'm sure you can finish this game much quicker, but it's easy to get immersed in it, too. Unlike another game, you can take this at your own pace, and most of your playtime will be actual gameplay and grinding. In this game, you can't take your time and have an actual calendar system at work. But let me rewind. You guys remember that one Fire Emblem character that everyone hated in Smash Bros? Yeah, they made an actual game about her. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a tactical strategy JRPG. In this game, you are chosen to live within the Garrick Rock Monastery, a location where all 3 nations just chill out and don't want to kill each other for once and coexist. When you get to this area, you are then questioned which political party you want to be a part of, / house, / country, / religious views, / whatever, and which one you're going to join. The whole premise of this game is that there are 3 different countries and 3 different outcomes after this one decision, depending on which house you choose. You have the Black Eagles of Edelgard, which if you pick this one, you're awesome. The Blue Lions of Dimitri, which is also cool, I guess. Or the Golden Days of Claude, who's upside down. Well, whoever you pick, you have to train your students in the art of war, and cooking as well. 10 out of 10 gameplay. After doing all these activities, you didn't have to actually play the game. And there's a mission every month, and that's the most I'm going to talk about. So, it gets to a point where you can only teach your students how to cook soup and fish for so long until you're done to actually having to play the game. The entire story is amazing when you actually play it, and it can take a while to beat. For me, I beat it during quarantine since I was literally going through my backlog and had nothing to do, and fell in love with it. And replaying it with other houses can definitely take up your time too. You know, I'm starting to sense a pattern. All these JRPGs take too damn long, okay? I need something manly. I need a real game, okay? Something that I don't need to read a box of text to play. I need This game shares a similar experience to Persona, where it's a long game that I love but will probably never beat. However, not because it's 1,000+ hours, or really the time because you can take this game at your own pace, but really because I'm bad at this game. Elden Ring is a Souls-like game that you've probably heard of. I mean, it did win Game of the Year. I got it during Christmas of last year, and take a guess how much progress I made. I beat the first boss and then got lost, and that's about it. In Elden Ring, you're the Tarnished, aka you were exiled after the Elden Ring got shattered. You travel in the lands between, going around doing cool side quests, getting called bitchless, and fighting really hard bosses who all have a piece of the Elden Ring. And your goal is to beat them and collect all the Elden Rings to become the Elden Lord. The world is so big that you can get lost for hours playing this game, and I mean it. I mean, about 40% of my playtime is me dicking around, finding an enemy, and then dying and repeating the cycle. It's a little confusing on what to do at times, but maybe that's just me being an idiot who spent 5 hours on the first boss. But for those who do get through the rest of the story, it is a painful, and I mean painful, journey to the end. I've seen people have mental breakdowns while fighting bosses in this game. And when you're done with that, you can always play the DLC, which I've heard is actually a lot harder and requires more skill. So, fun. I think this might just be an issue between me and the Persona franchise. I mean, I love Persona 5 and my 3.9 hours on it. And saying that out loud sounds really bad. Hey babe, happy 3.9 hour anniversary! Persona 4 is probably amazing. From the little playtime I have in it, I really enjoyed it. In the music, and the overall vibe and presentation of the game. The RPG mechanics are really nice, and the characters are even nicer, so why haven't I beaten this game? Why haven't I beaten most of these games? I mean, I could say it's too long, but I literally have 1,000 hours in Smash Bros. Okay, you don't have to look at me like that. And then hundreds of hours in Fortnite. And I've beaten other long single player games too, so what's wrong with me? It's like if I'm not 100% into a game, I just won't be able to complete it. And looking up the playtime will disinterest me even more to complete it. But even if a new game comes out and it's long, I'll still play that for however long it takes and forget all about the rotting games I have in my backlog. I don't know what the issue is, but I don't think it's the games. Long games aren't inherently bad, just as long as it's good. A good game can change your life, and a good game that you spend a lot of time can change your life even more. But as we get older and our lives get busier, we lose the time we once had as children to mess around all day, eating slop and playing silly video games every day. Time management has become crucial in our modern day of age, and I suppose when I see a big number behind the game, I think about all the time I would have to sink into it, and I get discouraged by it. But it doesn't have to be that way. For all the games we have in our backlog, as long as we take it one day at a time, we could truly enjoy it. And I see no time to rush. What was that? Oh, I'm gonna investigate. I thought I got rid of you. Look, I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to tell you. Oh!